Hi, I'm Brendan.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
And congratulations on purchasing your Brewseller 23 litre microbrewery starter kit. In just a few minutes, you'll be on your way to brewing great beer at home.
Your Brewseller 23 litre microbrewery starter kit comes complete with everything you need in order to brew great beer right in your own home.
That's right, and at just a fraction of the cost of a commercial beer.
So let's take a look at what's inside your starter kit.
Inside, you'll find a 30 litre fermenter, 1 kilogram of dextrose, Morgan's Lager beer concentrate, Morgan's low suds and sanitised cleaning products, and carbonation drops. More on those later.
You'll also find an instruction booklet, recipe booklet, stirring spoon, bottling valve and tube, test tube and hydrometer, bottle brush, stick-on thermometer, tap and sediment reducer, and an airlock.
And we even provide you with 30 bottles and caps to bottle up your first brew.
Okay, so let's get started. The single most important factor when brewing is cleaning and sanitising all of the equipment that will come into contact with your brew.
This is so important to successful brewing. Using the supplied Morgan's low suds, give everything a good clean. Then rinse well under tap water. Then with the supplied Morgan Sanitize, mix up a batch with 30 millilitres to a litre of water and give everything another clean. There is no need to rinse the sanitizer.
Never use a harsh scourer on the inside of your fermenter, as this can scratch the plastic and create perfect little areas for bacteria to hide, which can result in off flavours in your brew. Instead, if you need to use something to remove any build-up, particularly after fermentation, a soft dishcloth will do the job.
Okay, once the equipment is cleaned and sanitised, now we can start to assemble your kit.
Attach the tap and sediment reducer to the fermenter like this. Then, ensure the seal is correctly fitted to the lid.
Place the airlock grommet inside the lid. Ensuring the grommet is wet, place the airlock in and ensure a good seal.
Peel off the backing and attach the stick-on thermometer just below the halfway mark on your fermenter. Okay, so let's start brewing.
Start by placing the beer concentrate upside down in hot water. Place it upside down because we'll be opening it from the bottom. It is best to do this 15 minutes or so before mixing to give the concentrate enough time to heat up, making it easier to pour.
Now pour 2 litres of very hot water into your fermenter.
Using a tea towel, pick up the can of concentrate out of the hot water. Now remove the base with the can opener. Pour the contents into the fermenter. Stir until dissolved.
Now slowly add in your 1 kilo of dextrose while stirring, and make sure you dissolve the whole amount.
Once everything is fully dissolved, add cold water to the fermenter up until the 23 litre mark. Ideally, the temperature should be 24 degrees. Now take your hydrometer out of the test tube and draw a small amount of brew from the tap. Now put this aside and we'll tell you what to do with that shortly.
Now take your yeast sachet, open it up, and sprinkle the entire sachet over your brew.
Then with the stirring spoon, gently stir it in for about 30 seconds.
Put on the lid and put in your airlock.
Now add a little bit of clean water to the airlock. This creates a waterlock seal that allows gas to escape, but nothing can go back in.
And that's it as far as mixing goes. That's all of the hard work done.
Lastly, we need to take the specific gravity, or SG, using the hydrometer found in your kit.
When we first mix up a batch like this, it's full of sugars and quite dense. As the yeast goes to work, the sugars are converted into alcohol and the density of your brew decreases. A hydrometer test is the most effective way to get an accurate reading of the density before and after fermentation.
This is subsequently the best way to tell when fermentation is complete.
Simply float your hydrometer in the test tube.
And take a reading from where the liquid level meets the scale.
Generally, the SG reading should be around the 1040 mark. It's a good idea to take a note of this so that you have something to compare it to once fermentation is finished.
Now to find a spot in your home that gives as close to 25 degrees constant temperature as possible. Place your fermenter in it and let the yeast do its job.
The fermentation process will take approximately 5 to 7 days, depending on temperatures.
To give you an idea, there are 4 stages to the fermentation process.
Stage 1. You may start to notice some bubbling in your airlock. This is the gas escaping as the yeast goes to work. You will also notice some froth forming on the surface of your brew. This is exactly what we want to see.
Stage 2, you may see more bubbling or quicker bubbling through the airlock, and the froth will all but disappear, leaving your brew with a milky look to it.
Stage 3 will see a significant slowing of the airlock bubbling, and your brew, although still milky looking, will be less active.
Stage 4, everything changes. The bubbling all but stops, and if you look through your opaque lid, you will notice that your brew is darker and clearer, no longer milky. This indicates when fermentation is complete.
So once we get to stage 4, how do we know that it is finished for sure?
Your hydrometer will tell you. Do a second hydrometer test and take the result. Do it again 24 hours later. If the result is the same, fermentation is complete. This is called the finishing gravity, or FG, and it should be around 1005 depending on the ingredients used.
So now we wait a week.
So now it has been a week since we left our yeast to go to work on our brew.
And now that fermentation is finished, it's time to bottle our brew. Your starter kit comes complete with 30 bottles. Ensure these have been cleaned and sanitised prior to use.
Inside, you will find one of these. This is a bottling tube and valve, and it makes bottling your brew so easy.
Simply attach the valve and tube to your tap.
Now what you have here is flat beer. To get bubbles in your beer, or to carbonate it, requires secondary fermentation. Brewcellar's starter kit comes complete with carbonation drops. 1 in your stubby or 2 in your 740 to 750 ml bottle is the perfect amount to carbonate it.
When the little valve hits the bottom of the bottle, it releases the beer. To stop, simply drop the bottle and the valve closes. Now put a cap on it and you're all done.
Once you have bottled your brew, store the bottles away at around 20 degrees for a minimum of 2 weeks. This gives the carb drops enough time to perfectly carbonate your beer.
The beer will mature and improve greatly, however, with further aging. Now it's time to wash up your equipment. Wash everything using Morgan's low suds, paying particular attention to any dried deposits on the inside of your fermenter. Remember, do not use a harsh scourer. Remove the tap and thoroughly clean the inside and outside, as well as the threaded area. Soak and properly clean the airlock, then thoroughly rinse all of the equipment and cover from dust.
So now we patiently wait for the carb drops to work their magic, and we'll see you here in 2 weeks.
Well, it's been 2 weeks since we bottled, and I can't wait to taste our homemade beer.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Wow. So there you have it. Great tasting beer that we made right in our own home, in just a few simple steps.
All done using the Brewceller 23 litre microbrewery starter kit.
For more information or to join our mailing list, go to brewceller.com.au or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/brewceller.
Thanks for watching and happy brewing.
Cheers.
Cheers.